Hello, everybody. This is Douglas Block. It's December 24th, 2017, Christmas Eve day. Your Sunday noon live chat. It happens to be Christmas Eve day, so I have no idea, uh, you know, if anyone's going to be tuning in. UK, where many of my watches are. It's actually 8 p.m. Christmas Eve. We got one person, Cesar de Jesus. Hello, yeah, nice to see you there. So I don't think we're going to get a lot of UK watchers today. We may get some in the States. It's 12 o'clock in Portland, 1 o'clock Mountain Time, 2 o'clock Central, and 3 o'clock Eastern, but still people are probably with their families. Hey, Scott Blaze. Hey, Doc, nice to see you. Well, wonder why it says 0 watching. You guys are on there. Merry Christmas from Chicago. Sisyphus wins. I like that. Why don't you explain, Sisyphus wins, why you gave yourself that name? Sisyphus was actually kind of a character who really ran into a lot of trouble. He was condemned. No, that was I think that was Prometheus. But anyway, no, Sisyphus was the guy who rolled the stone up the hill, and then at the very top, it came back to the bottom again, and then he had to roll it up, and then it came back. It was this repetitive task over and over again, and he never really got anywhere. It's kind of Albert Camus wrote a book called The Myth of Sisyphus. Merry Christmas, Cheryl Lancaster says hello. Kevin McCord, hello from Ireland. Kevin, it's 8 p.m. It's Christmas Eve. Happy Christmas Eve. I wonder if, yes, if it was a great character, of course. Very, very famous. But what do you do? Kevin, are you with your family, or are you going to church, or I wonder what you guys are doing in Ireland to celebrate Christmas. Last I checked, it was a Christian country. A joke. Hey, when we get about 15 people on, I've got a Christmas joke I want to share. And at any rate, here in the States, there are 2 movies I always like to watch at this time of year. One is one I'm going to tomorrow, It's a Wonderful Life, directed by Frank Capra with Jimmy Stewart. And it's about a guy named George Bailey who essentially gives his life to serve others. He's like a Christ figure, and it's an amazing story. Debbie M., nice to hear from you. And then the other film I like to watch is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Actually, this was the 1951 film made in Britain by British director, and it starred a British actor called Alistair Sim, Alastirsim. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of him, but it is the Christmas Carol of Christmas carols, the best thing ever made on film, and it's the gold standard. Well, you 12 people are watching. Please feel free to ask any questions, you have about mental health recovery. How are you all doing in the holidays? For some people, the holidays represent depression because they're not with family, or they are with family and they're having a hard time. It's a tricky time of year, especially since we just under solstice and it was the darkest time of year. It's a lot of people I know are sick in Portland, Oregon. Jim Carrey did A Christmas Carol, did he? How was it? He's a very funny person. It was probably great. I figure that life is more about putting your hands back on the wheel no matter what is on the hill, as opposed to getting up to the top of the hill, and that way Sisyphus wins because he never quits. That's a very good point. I really like what Sisyphus wins had to say. Maybe one day you'll tell us your real name, but let me go ahead. Yeah, he put his head back on the, I'm trying to read, on the stone. Hands back on the stone. There we are. April Wagner, hello, Merry Christmas. April Wagner is here. I get to tell one of your jokes, April Wagner. Merry Christmas from Belfast, Northern Ireland, Doug. Hope you have a nice festive holiday. Let me go ahead and, okay. So I can't see the whole thing, unfortunately, but I can see most of your comments. Oh, nope, not going to work. All right, well, anyway, thank you, Kevin McCourt. Thank you, Alan McNair. And thank you, Evan Wagner. We need one more person online before I can actually tell April Wagner's Christmas joke. April, get your roommate on here. We got to get another person on here. Where's Mark C? Hey, just on the phone with mother. How are you? I'm doing all right. Oops, only 13 people here. Well, I may have to tell the joke no matter how many people are here. Let's give it another minute. It's 4 minutes and 44 seconds into this. And has anyone ever seen A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, any of the movie versions, or has anyone ever seen the play? Anyway, there's a movie out right now called The Man Who Invented Christmas, and starring Dan Stevens, a British actor, about how Charles Dickens came to write The Christmas Carol. Very interesting. He was really stuck. He had 3 book failures. He needed a new inspiration. and he got one, and he self-published the book. Came out December 19th, 6 days before Christmas. It sold out, and it established Christmas as a tradition. We have 15 people watching. It's time to tell April Wagner's joke. Okay, why was the Christmas elf... No, okay, let me go back to the beginning. I'll tell the other one first. Why was the ornament addicted to Christmas? Why was the ornament addicted to Christmas? He was hooked on trees. Oh, I can't believe I said that. Okay, here's the one. Why was Santa's... Doug, come on. Why was Santa's helper depressed? You know, I said a lot of people get depressed around this time of year. Well, why did it happen to Santa's helper? You think he was helping Santa deliver goods, bring good tidings. Why was Santa's helper depressed? Well, he had low self-esteem. Thank you, April, for that. Yeah, Patrick Stewart is one of my favorite... Oh, Patrick Stewart's amazing. He played Star Trek captain. He's a great actor. Patrick Stewart was one of my favorites. Muppet Christmas Carol is fantastic, too. Really? Did he play Scrooge? Just watched the 1985 movie, Santa Claus the Movie. Didn't know that one. Robert T. Kevin, in the same boat, been down real bad after a breakup. Uh-oh, breakups really do bad things, don't they? Breaking up at Christmas. Just got to press on and take it day by day. Absolutely, Robert Teague. Where are you living, by the way? Went to Mass at 6 a.m. with family, but quite depressed. I cannot get the festive feeling like everyone else. Hey, not everybody has a festive feeling, Kevin McCourt. One of my good friends who helped me get out of my last depression just passed away yesterday after a bout with liver cancer. It was very, very intense. He called me on Thursday, said his goodbyes, and he passed away on Saturday. I actually went to see the actual body. It was very, very, very powerful. You know what it makes me realize? That, you know, we're here one day, we're gone the next. I mean, what is life about? It's about the Christmas spirit. It's about love and service and compassion. You know, someone once said, you only take two things with you when you die: your state of consciousness and whatever good you've done in the world. And I absolutely believe that. And this man had a very high state of consciousness. He did a lot of good, including saving my life. So, you know, when he died, it wasn't really a tragedy. He had a life well lived, and it was just a light on this earth. Maybe from the other side, he's shining some light. Patty Brady, one of my favorite UK people. Are you with family? What about some of the other UK people? It's Christmas Eve. Happy Christmas Eve, everybody. I hope you went to Mass or some sort of service. If not, that's cool. Anyway, tendinitis, yes, very painful. I'm coming out with a new video says that called How Physical Illness Adversely or Negatively Affects Your Mood. I know so many people right now who are sick with respiratory infections in Oregon, and their mood plummets. Really, physical illness will make the depression a lot worse, don't you think? Hey, Danielle from Houston, happy holidays. Did you go see Joel Osteen this morning? You know, I'm snowed in here. I can't go to a Christmas service. So I was going to watch his Christmas service on television. Anyway, thank you, Danielle. And yes, April, those two jokes. I'm going to tell another one fairly soon that was told to me accidentally by a friend on Wednesday. I'm your Caribbean guy. Cesar de Jesus. I think I spelled your name correctly or said it. How's the sound, by the way? Joe's on vacation? Oh, my goodness. Maybe they'll have a rerun. Who did the Christmas service at the Lakewood Church in Houston? That's what I want to know. By the way, Danielle, your lovely daughter, those two jokes, right? And I told them again on Wednesday. Maybe we should tell them on Sunday. What were they? Oh, yeah. A boy goes up to his teacher. This is from Danielle's 10-year-old daughter, Annalise. Goes up to his teacher, says, Teacher, can I be punished for doing something, an act I never did? And she said, no, you can't be punished for something you never did. That would be unfair. He said, oh, thank goodness, because I didn't do my homework. Very, very good. I'll say sub-pastor. I don't know what substitute pastor. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm from Puerto Rico. That's why. Okay. Well, Puerto Rico, my God, Cesar Jesus, they're having a hard time in Puerto Rico with that storm and not enough help from the United States and people without electricity. There must be depression going on in Puerto Rico. And how is Christmas going there with all the trauma and difficulty they've had? Robert Teague in New Orleans. Thank you very much. It's 2:00. Robert Teague says, Cesar, same exact thing. I've been working on playing Painful, be healthy myself, stop thinking about my Christmas anyway. Never look back and don't live IB in the future waiting or hoping. Well, that's very good advice. One day at a time is how I survived all my depressive episodes. Any questions about depression? How are you doing this Christmas break or vacation or holiday season? Are you holding your own? Or you don't worry if you're not festive. A lot of people have struggled this time of year. So I have a video coming out, which I actually made myself. I'm very proud, using Final Cut Pro, called A Christmas Gift That Changed My Life. I'm not going to tell you what that gift was, but it happened 21 years ago tomorrow on Christmas Day, 1996. Something happened in my life. I was in a suicidal depression. I actually contemplated it and almost acted on it 5 weeks before, but something happened that turned my life around. It was grace from above on Christmas Eve. A lot of cool things have happened Christmas Eve. I went down to the Grand Canyon one day and meditated and have a religious experience. Way, way back, I spent Christmas Eve at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. How cool is that? Did you catch my message from 2007? I'm not quite sure what 2007 means. 20 minutes and 7 seconds of what? This too shall pass. Thank you, Robert Teague. Yeah, Steve Moran, why don't you clarify what your message from 2007 means? Christmas here is hard without electricity. Suicide rates skyrocketed because of the hurricane. Wow. I guess, Cesar de Jesus, people were not just more depressed, they actually got suicidal. That's a shame. You know, that just shows how trauma and loss from whatever way you look at it can go ahead and create depression in people's lives. So that is really, really tough. I don't know what to say. Just my blessings and my prayers to people in Puerto Rico. So, A Christmas Gift That Changed My Life, coming out tomorrow. Wanted to thank all the members of who joined Patreon. Patreon is this crowdfunding site I have. I am raising money to pay for these videos. So far, 100 people have pledged $211 a month. I'm trying to get to 300. Hate to sound like an OPB pledge drive, but I'm going to go ahead and just type in here the site. If you ever want to go and check it out, you can actually start at $2 a month, and you'll get some goodies, some free ebooks and books and other types of print books and live chats and personal coaching from me. So I'm sure some of you have heard of Patreon. Hey, Danielle, yes, I went to Puerto Rico when I was 13. It was really cool. 7 minutes past 8 tonight. Okay, so Steve, you wrote something up there. Well, so many messages have come in. Let me, God, I don't think I can get to it. You'll have to repeat it. It's already passed, and the messages are coming so thick and fast, I don't really know how to get to the other ones. So, Steve Moran, why don't you go ahead and redo the message? I'm sorry, I can't get to the beginning of this screen. We'll try one more time. Nope, not working. So, sorry for the shaking of that. Sisyphus wins. This is my first Christmas in 2 years without long-term girlfriend, and I'm doing okay, but definitely not in the Holy Spirit. But I know things won't always be this way forever. Well, you know what, Sisyphus wins? I did a video a couple of Thursdays ago called 4 Words That Can Save Your Life, and I'll tell you what those words are. This too shall pass. So watch the video. I think you'll really, really appreciate it. It'll validate you. But yes, this too shall pass. Things do not stay the same forever. Steve, I'm waiting for your question again because I can't get back to 2007. But yes, Sisyphus wins. You've got a good attitude. And I like your idea of not giving up. So I'm really sorry about the breakup of your girlfriend. We biologically need other people. There's a really good book called A General Theory of Love I recommend to all of you. It talks about why people need people, to quote Barbara Streisand in Funny Girl, and it's really profound. Hey, I just saw this documentary about Jane Goodall. You guys from Britain know who she is, right? The British gal who at 27 went into Africa where no man had gone before, and as they say in Star Trek, and no woman had gone before, and developed a connection with the chimpanzees and was the first person to observe them in the wild. And she saw how the bonding between mother and infant is so powerful, just like it is with a human mother and her child. And when that bond is broken, when a mother dies prematurely, the child goes into all sorts of condition sits, and actually in one case actually died. So we are primates, we are mammals, we are dependent upon each other, we give birth to live young, and that's why breakups are so difficult, because they actually in some ways threaten our survival. If not our physical survival, then our emotional survival. And when you're young, if your mother doesn't feed you or pay attention to you, or your parents don't, you'll die. So it really is physical survival. I had someone on YT say killing yourself is like bombing every one of your friends and family because it devastates him. That helped me a lot. Yeah. Who was that, Robert Teague? I have to agree that when a person does something like taking their own life, unfortunately, it's a decision that is not just their decision because it impacts everyone. One of my closest friends lives in Philadelphia. Her brother, who was her idol when she was, I believe she was 17, he was 19. He took his own life, and she's never gotten over it. And that was 48 years ago. So yes, this is something that hopefully none of you are in that state where you're thinking of harming yourself. But if you were, even if you don't think anybody cares about you, I guarantee you, your passing would affect somebody. So it's really as my swimming coach, wasn't my swimming coach, when I was at this pool, the manager of the pool said to me way back when, she said, other people are a good reason to stay alive. I completely support that and know that's true. Even my daughter at age 3 saw baby chicks in the coop. She knew where their mommy was. She knew it wasn't right. Yeah, well, of course. It wasn't right to, she demanded to know where their mommy was. Right, of course, it's not good to separate baby chicks from their mother. Absolutely. Here's that repeat message. Just to say thank you for those 4 words. Help me out over difficult times. And Merry Christmas from Yorkshire. Well, thank you, Steve Moran. I guess you saw the video that said 4 words that can save your life. Well, remember those words. Put them on Post-it notes or 3x5 cards. Tape them all over your house or your apartment. Put them by your bedside. Put them by your computer. This too shall pass. What's the word? I dare anybody to tell me something in life that doesn't change. It has to change. The Buddhists, who have been around far longer than I have, 2500 BC, say that the rule of life is impermanence. Everything arises, abides for a time, and passes away. Like my friend who just died, or you have children and you love them and you spend all this time with them, and then they leave your home, and go out, and then something else comes along, and you're sick, and then you get better, and then you're in love, and then you're not in love. Everything changes. Cesar is in Puerto Rico, and they've had a hard time with the loss of electricity and the trauma, and a lot of people have gotten really depressed and even taken their lives. It was Angela John Gage, as a veteran that suffers from PTSD. What was Angela John Gage? Oh, who said that about about if you heal yourself, it's like blowing up all these different people? And he did a beautiful video. I'd like to look him up. Thank you so much. Robert Teague, why don't you email with that link? Let me give you my email address. Any of you can always write me anytime you want. And here it is up here. douglasbloch@gmail.com, douglasbloch@gmail.com. Robert Teague, if you could send me a link to that Robert John Gage video, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Danielle is saying to Cesar, come to Houston and rebound with me. That's very nice of you. Houston is not that far from Puerto Rico, actually, is it? Probably a quick plane ride. I think you're maybe in different time zones, but not that different. Cesar says, in Christmas, my girlfriend told me that she was just going to leave me for another guy. We had a 6-year relationship. Wow. Cesar, was that this Christmas? No, we haven't had Christmas yet. It must have been in the past. And I see why Daniel said rebound with me. Yeah. Well, I hope, Cesar, it was another Christmas and not just right now, because otherwise I really feel your pain. Cesar, look up Corey Wayne later on. He has a life coach and it's a very good book called 3% Man. Wow. Robert, you're just full of really cool ideas. So why don't you send that link to me also, as long as you're at it, douglasblog@gmail.com. So we're 20 minutes into the hour, and what else can I share with you guys? I did a video last week about comparing yourself to others. Let's do another joke. We need some lightening up right here. So here, this actually came from a real situation. What did the doctor say to the patient who came to him with a bad case of diarrhea? Don't worry, it will run its course. Yikes. And that's exactly what a doctor told my friend about diarrhea. She was very unhappy with him because he didn't do any medical treatment. But look, it's going to run its course. Get it? The runs. Anyway, she should have laughed, but she didn't. No one has made any comments about my jokes so far. I'm having really low self-esteem as a real. April, say something. Robert said, really helped me move on and understand where I went wrong. Being needed, insecure, and jealous. Now I'm learning to change my actions. Well, Robert, if you can go through pain and it can help you change, that's a good thing, because that's what my mother used to say. The tragedy in life is not that people don't make mistakes, but they don't learn from them. So if you learn from your mistake, which joke do you love, Mark? The one on the doctor and let it run its course? As I said, that just happened, like wasn't even intended. Yeah, well, Robert, if you can learn that lesson, that's a good thing. I think I'll have a sip of a hot cocoa. Well, it stopped snowing here. I don't know if we're still going to make it to Christmas Eve service. You love the elf joke. Well, thank April Wagner from Portland, Oregon. Why was Santa's helper depressed? He had low self-esteem. I think that's really cute. I think I have PTSD from my breakup. Of course you do, Cesar. How long ago was it? If you're hearing voices, just block it out. Haha. Very, very funny, 7-1. Hey, nice to see you again. Where's Arcade Cup? He's from Green Bay. He's probably with his family right now. Sorry about that. I had a scratch on my nose. Anyway, so comparing yourself to others. Has anyone ever done that? Has anyone ever made the mistake of comparing your insides to someone else's outsides? My God, where I grew up in New York in a very wealthy neighborhood, you were judged by how much money you had and how big your house was. Well, I live in a very humble house in Portland, Oregon. By the way, there's a really good movie out called Loving Vincent. Is it other people like Vincent van Gogh besides me, or is Diane Keaton said in Woody Allen's Manhattan, Vincent van Gogh? That's how you pronounce it in Dutch. Any people from the Netherlands here? I think we had one a while ago. Last year. Well, you know, Cesar, when you have a breakup, I often see that it usually takes about a year to 18 months to get over it. If it's death of a spouse, it can take longer. But give yourself some time and be around other people. We have in Portland a number of divorce support groups or breakup support groups on meetups. Be around other people who are going through the same grief. It really helps. Wow, Steve Moran, your best joke was, oh, well, yes. What did the janitor say as he jumped out of the closet? Supplies! You like that, Steve. That was from a video a long time ago. I guess you've been watching my videos for a while. Mark Calloway says, or Mark C., I used to compare myself to others, then found it doesn't do me any good. Absolutely. Danielle, a good video is Nervous Breakdown by a YouTuber named TL Swan. Oh yeah, she's very controversial. Right, I think you turned me on to her. Danielle, I'm going to have to remember that. I need a pen. No, I'll just scroll through these things at the end. TL Swan, Nervous Breakdown. I'm going to put that in my head right now. Okay, so anybody else have the problem of comparing yourself to other people and coming up short? It's a trap. As Joel Osteen says, there's always going to be somebody better or brighter or smarter or more intelligent than you are or more attractive, so it's a losing game. He said something very interesting. He said that when you get in touch with your purpose and mission, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. You're kind of like, you're running a race against yourself, or you have your own mission. And so, measure yourself by your own internal standards and what success means to you. Don't worry about what success means to other people. And if you basically define success on something external, it's never going to work, because, as I say, there's always going to be other people who have more, wits or money or whatever than you do. Sarah Lancaster says, me, I'm Dutch. The letters of Vincent van Gogh are wonderful to read. Yes, well, he was an amazing person. He wanted to be a minister, but he suffered so much. I think he had bipolar disorder. He was in a sanitarium. People don't really know what was going on. Did he have lead poisoning from eating the paint? Did he have bipolar disorder? He struggled and suffered a tremendous amount in his lifetime, if you read the letters, right, Cheryl? But look at what he gave humanity. BRB, let me try to add a pic to my profile. Well, not quite sure what that means, Robert Teague, but remember to send me those links. Yeah, Teal Swan, Nervous Breakdown. So, again, I wish I had that Joel Osteen information I could read to you. Well, I'm going to bring it down next time. I wish I could be the person I was before returning to college. And what type of person was that, Danielle? Did you have a lot more energy, more concentration? Anyone know how to add a profile pic to what? I'm not quite sure. Hey, just got here. Arcade Cup, I asked about you in Green Bay. How are you doing on Christmas Eve? You with your family? I have a guy in my men's group who's from Green Bay. I guarantee you he's back there with his family right now. I guess people in Wisconsin are very family oriented, and especially around this time of year, probably other parts of the country too. He had a great deal of love. He loved humanity. Yes, Cheryl did. He did love humanity. As I said, he wanted to be a minister. We're talking about Vincent van Gogh. There's a really good film called, what's it called? Vincent and Theo by Robert Altman, the great American director. It's a tremendous film. It's an art film. It came out at least 15 years ago. And at the beginning of the film, there's a split screen. On the left-hand side, you see Vincent van Gogh eating paint and looking like a madman. On the right side of the screen, you see Sunflowers, one of his paintings, selling for $39 million in a Japanese auction. How's that for a contrast? You know, William Blake, the great English poet, when he died, nobody knew about him. And the people who knew about him thought he was a lunatic. Now he's regarded as one of the greatest poets in English literature. You know, when Johann Sebastian Bach died, his brother, Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, was much more famous than he was. What happens? He's now considered the greatest composer of the Baroque era. When M. Scott Fitzgerald died, The Great Gatsby had made him $11.67. He died at 42, a broken man. 3 years later, they sent hundreds of thousands of that book to the armed forces, and now it's regarded as the #1 book of the 20th century by the Modern Library. What's the moral of the story? Don't judge yourself when you're living by external circumstances, because sometimes, especially with artists, you know, like myself, you know, fame doesn't come till later on. Speaking of which, any of you who outlive me, if you have a copy of Healing from Depression, it's right now worth $19.99. $19.95, excuse me. It could go up to $19.96. So hold on to that book, please. Speaking of which, here's Healing from Depression. A number of people have written me about it. Just want to let you know you can get it at Amazon.com or Amazon.com UK. I wrote it a year after my nervous breakdown of 97, 98, and it has everything I know in it about depression recovery. All the stuff on my website, all the stuff in my YouTube videos, all of my newsletters, all that information comes from this one book. So if you want to internalize everything I've learned in the past half century, pick up that book. All right, don't forget The Agony and the Ecstasy. Oh my God, with Kirk Douglas and Anthony Quinn. The Open Experience Overacting. Well, Sisyphus wins. God, you're pretty literate. Yes, that was based on a book by Irving Stone. And Lust for Life. No, Agony and Ecstasy was about Michelangelo. Lust for Life was about Vincent van Gogh. I think you're getting your stuff mixed up. Bashar Zako, hi Douglas, from the Middle East. Do they celebrate Christmas there? I guess not. If it's basically they're more into Islam. So, how's it going? How are you doing this holiday season? Most of you are surviving. I don't hear anybody who's feeling too desperate. A couple of you have had some loss of love, but you're coping. Have you any of you had nice connection with your family, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew? Is anybody connecting with their family right now? That's what's supposed to happen, at least in the West. Sometimes I think I'm not even depressed. I'm just being a negative baby and everything. Is this one of my symptoms? Well, you know, don't put yourself down. You're not a negative baby at everything. If your brain isn't working properly, you're going to feel negative. You're going to look at the glass as half empty instead of half full. You can't help that. You just have a dysregulated brain. You know, it's like someone who's got cataracts can't see right. If you have a brain that's dysregulated or out of balance, you can't think and feel right. So that seemed like a put down. Bashar Zako, you're not Muslim. Okay, well, see, don't judge a book by its cover. What faith do you have, or do you have a specific faith? You know what the Dalai Lama said, the head of the Tibetan culture, my religion is kindness. That's it. My parents were very kind people. They were not religious, but they were kind and ethical. And, you know, what did Jesus say? Love your neighbor as yourself. So I wonder if there's a really good documentary about Jesus on CNN about his early life. Very worth looking into. And according to Danielle, is it Danielle Pate? Am I pronouncing that correctly? It sounds like it, or it could be Pate, but there's no accent over the E. Danielle Pate says if you get shop Kick app you can earn Amazon gift cards without buying anything? Wow, that'd be great. I'd buy a ton of books from Amazon. How will I know when I'm healed, Kevin McCourt? When you can go 6 weeks with your mood not below a 4 on a scale of 1 out of 10. If you can go 6 weeks and feel either well or partially well most of the time, you're probably better. Right now, Kevin McCourt, on a scale of 1 to 10 on an average day, where 1 is suicidally depressed and 10 is ecstatic bliss, where would you say you're on that scale? Are you at a 3, at a 4? Do you go between a 4 and a 6? So let me know, Kevin, how you're doing. Okay, all done, says Robert Teague. I'm not quite sure what's all done, but never break down Teal Swan. I'll remember that. And please, here's my email. Somebody, maybe it was Robert, you were going to send me some links about a YouTube video about a guy who talked about taking your own life and something else. You were going to send me a couple of stuff, so please do that. Do I have any special holidays traditions? Yes, every Christmas I watched Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed in It's a Wonderful Life in Arcade Cup. Saw that when he was younger, and he loved Donna Reed. She stole the show, I agree. I also like to see a Dickens Christmas Carol or go to the play, if not the movie. So those are the 2 things I do. And I usually go to a Christmas Eve service at the Unity Church, which is a New Thought church here in America. But there's ice all over the roads right now. I'm really bummed out. I haven't missed a Christmas Eve service in ages. Even when I was super depressed, I went. I need to watch it again. Of course you do, Arcade Cup. That movie is inspiring. I pronounce it right. I'm okay with pate also. My maiden name got butchered. Yeah, well, I guessed Daniel Pate, and I was right, but that was not rocket science. I guess that's your married name, huh? And how is Annalise doing on Christmas? Did you get her some good presents, I hope? She's a lovely, lovely child. I should take the video and play it for people here. I want you to ask her permission. If next time I'm on, I'll take that video you sent me and I'll play it for the YouTube people. But that's, she might be a very private person, so I won't do it unless you agree. I'll make it a goal probably today. Well, yes. I don't know how you can see It's a Wonderful Life. I don't know if it's live streaming, if it's streaming on Amazon or Netflix. It's probably not playing in a big theater in Green Bay, but it always happens here in Portland. Actually, 2 theaters, the Hollywood Theater and the Academy Theater. April Wagner, you live in Portland. Are you going to go see that film? Puma.81, hey, you're back. Do you think meds should be taken even if you think you don't need them? Well, that depends, Puma.81. If you are feeling, I haven't heard about the 1 to 10 scale from the person I asked, whose name I forgot. But if you are basically feeling you're coping okay on your own, and you're managing your symptoms, then you probably don't need them. But if you're depressed, you have a hard time getting out of bed, you're not functioning well, you're withdrawing from friends, you're not opening your mail, you're not able to work. If you're having those type of symptoms, then meds should probably be given a try. I'll be right there. I'm just going to get a throat lozenge. My nose is really bothering me. Mark C. on Amazon The Rent for $3.99. It's a Wonderful Life. Mark C., thank you so much for it. There you have it. Cheaper than going to a movie theater. So Arcade Cup, go to Amazon.com, type in It's a Wonderful Life, and stream it for yourself today. What a Christmas present you'll be giving yourself. It is a totally inspiring movie. You know my email address. Send me an email when you've seen it. You will absolutely love it. I'll take a screenshot. I send it to the wrong place. Okay, and by the way, I just want to mention before I hold up my email address, right down here on the little super chat button, people who would like to donate to this channel. Usually people donate $1 or $2. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, maybe a Christmas gift to the Healing from Depression Recovery channel. She also got socks and underwear, clothes. Wow. Thanks for checking, Mark, says Arcade Cup. Okay, here we are. Robert Teague. Take the screenshot right here. DouglasBlog@gmail.com. Let me know when you've taken it, okay? 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000. Anyway, just remember my first and last name at gmail.com and you got it. Can't beat it with a stick, as my friend would say. Anyway, I'll even type it in here for you guys. Sorry about the shaking computer. I'm kind of on a lame stand. Where's the out button? Well, Don't even know where it's, oh, I see, you have to go capital 2 here. Okay, any questions about depression recovery? I please, speak your mind. That's what we're here for, to support each other. So there's my email address, Robert. It's right there. Miracle on 34th Street, of course, is on the Reno AMC channel right now. Yes, what I forgot about Miracle on 34th Street. God, I haven't seen that in 2 decades. What a cool movie that is. You missed when I said she got a tablet. Oh my God. Danielle, you're showering gifts upon Annalise, a tablet and clothes and underwear. My goodness. You know, why don't you adopt me? I don't get presents like that. Anyway, any Christmas Eve services, you Americans? Are you going to go somewhere tonight? What about you guys in England or the UK? Are you going to go to a Christmas Day service tomorrow? Yes, I sent you. Whoops, my God. I thought I turned off my phone. That's my niece calling to wish me Merry Christmas. I will definitely call her back later. But by the way, I'll send you a free ebook if any of you recognize my ringtone. Happy Christmas, your videos have been a great help, says EBD101. Oh, for Scotland. All these people are writing me from Christmas Eve in the UK. So EDB1001, are you doing anything special? Are you going to a service? Are you with family? Thank you for the... Thank you so much for the Happy Christmas. Shakira, you're right, but what's the name of the song, Mark C? That is Shakira. Thank you for your generous contribution, Robert. Really appreciate it. Mike Levitt, you're back. Merry Christmas, Doug. Merry Christmas to you. Please be on my channel tomorrow. This channel. It's 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. East Coast time, and 2 p.m. UK time. I'm going to be uploading a video that really means a lot to me. It's called A Christmas Gift That Changed My Life. It's very, very sentimental and very powerful, and I think you will be very inspired by it. And I'll give you a hint. It has something to do about love. Shakira Waka Waka. Well, that's not the name of the song, but anyway, you got at least the vid stopped. I'm not quite sure what that means, Robert Teague, but anyway, yeah, so 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to upload it. I think I'll put my phone on actually airport because sometimes the silencing doesn't work very well, so that way we can not be interrupted. But anyway, if anyone knows the name of that song, free ebook. You're about a 3. My depression is weird. I dislike everyone, including my friends. Hates the world. What's happening to me? Well, hey, go read When Going Through Hell Don't Stop. Go read Undercurrents by Martha Manning. Go ahead and read Darkness Visible by William Stein. What's happening to me? You're in a depressive episode, my friend. That's why I have this channel. That's why I wrote Healing from Depression. That's why I have a website. That's why I have free newsletters, to help people like you and like me get out of this hole, because it sucks. Probably YouTube is going to now veto this channel because I said that, but really, it's bad news to be depressed. Hips don't lie. Excellent, Mark C. Well, I owe you an ebook. We know how to get a hold of each other. How are you doing, by the way? Life after Douglas or life after coaching? You hanging in there? I'm sure you are. You're a pretty stable person. So, Kevin, did I explain what's happening to you? That you are going through a depressive episode and it's really bad and it will get better? It has to get better. The fundamental law of the universe has changed. It's impermanence. You will not feel this way forever. When people feel that they're going to feel this way forever, they give up hope. And they start to think of drastic things. Well, guess what? The 4 words that will save your life, this too shall pass. And that is it. Is depression a chronic condition? Oh, yes. I hate to tell you, but it is a chronic condition. Addiction is a chronic condition. Asthma is a chronic condition. Arthritis is a chronic condition. Heart disease is a chronic condition. Need I go on? Chronic relapsing conditions. I know a guy who was clean and sober and then 22 years later relapsed into alcohol. I won't tell you how many depressive episodes I've had. You'd be depressed if you heard it. But by the way, why did the bipolar person win the Tour de France? Did you know that? And I'm not talking about Lance Armstrong, who cheated. I mean, there was actually a guy who had bipolar disorder who actually won the Tour de France. He was a rapid cycler. I apologize. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, rapid cycling bipolar disorder is where you go from a high to a low to a high to a low 4 times within 1 year. That's a lot of ups and downs. Usually manic episodes happen about every year or 2. Is anyone here bipolar 1? Has anyone had a manic episode? It's wild. Rapid cycle. Rogue Arcade Cup never really goes away. Yeah, well, I would say Puma.81, it goes away for me, but it doesn't, it always sort of lurks in the background. It wants to sneak in there. So let's take this 1 to 10 scale, guys. There are days when I actually have a 5 or 6. I'm actually feeling okay. The whole month of November, I felt pretty good. And then at the beginning of December, I got this respiratory illness, and suddenly I started to feel depressed and fearful about the future. I didn't think anybody would sign up for my Patreon page, and just things looked really gloomy and bleak for no reason other than I had a physical illness. So then, see, the depression came back. But now, today, talking with you guys, I'm back up to a 5 again. I kind of feel normal. So it can fluctuate, Puma.81. You can have days where you feel decent or have a little bit of joy, even for a moment, watching a beautiful sunset. Or go watch It's a Wonderful Life, Puma.81, and see if you don't feel uplifted by it. Or go watch any inspirational film, or listen to Second Wind by Billy Joel, that great song. Or, you know, there's a lot of music that is really uplifting. Stevie Wonder, one of my favorites. Does everyone who has depression hate other people? No, that's not one of the symptoms. Hate other people, that's a strong term, Kevin. If you have hate other people, that could be some lingering anger you've got from something in the past, or some injustice that was done to you. But people will want to avoid other people. They often feel like that being around other people is too much for them to bear. But hating other people, no, I don't think people with depression do that. I just think they, you know, when they're feeling really bad, they don't want to be around anybody. They just want to, you know, curl up and hibernate. They want to avoid contact with people, which of course is not a good thing to do. So I'm just moving this back a little bit. Here you go. So yeah, Kevin, I don't know, I've hated, but definitely withdrew, had a number of, yes, socialization, going through a bout of depression. Right. So it's absolutely true. You can withdraw from people and have really mess up your socialization if you have depression. So it's important to you know, go against that and reach out for people even when you don't feel like it. Very, very important to go ahead and reach out to other people. Easier said than done. Marcy, when I get really depressed, I tend to be angry at everybody. Well, okay, so maybe hating people is, especially at work. Well, I thought anger was more of a symptom of bipolar disorder and mania, but I guess it can be for depression. I haven't seen that, but Kevin and Mark, you've got something similar going on. You both get angry at people when you're depressed. Oh, well, if that's the case, then just notice that. Close your eyes, try to send love out, try to get into your heart, and think of somebody you love, or a pet you loved, and try to replace that anger with love. Or beat the heck out of a punching bag. That's one way to get anger out. Physicalize it. Run up a hill, bicycle up a hill, get on a treadmill, get on an elliptical, and walk, or, until you drop. That's one way of dissipating anger. So, any other questions? My throat's starting to get a little scratchy. I'm going to have some gum. Robert T. says, Kevin, I don't know if you believe in God or what, but when I was helping someone who hurt me, I looked at a video called I Went to Hell. It's about people that died, went to hell, but survived. Hold on. I got to do something about this cough. I'm not really sure what you mean by that. People died and went to hell. After watching that video, I decided I didn't want to die with hate in me. So I forgave and moved on. Well, Robert T., that's a good thing you did that. Dying with hate in you is not very good for the next life or the next episode. Daniel says, I was very depressed in the past few days, but now I'm okay. You see, Danielle, in Oregon, they say if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes. So, yeah, it's important to know that this too shall pass. The 4 words that saved your life, this too shall pass. NOFAP definitely helps me dealing with depression. Well, I'm not sure what NOFAP means, JK, but your guess is as good as mine. I feel like I'm crying, but I can't. Does this happen to anybody else with depression? Says Kevin McCourt. Well, yeah, I've had a hard time crying. A lot of men do. So, absolutely, Kevin, says Robert Teague. Yeah, Kevin meds do that to me. Yes, me. Sounds like you've got a lot of company. Kevin McCourt, Robert and Danielle and Mark all say that when they're depressed, they have a hard time crying. So I can understand that. By the way, sorry for the messy books by my Xerox machine. Just shows I've been reading, keeping up to date on depression. 45 minutes into the hour, 16 people watching. It's Christmas Eve day. Wow, it's really special. We're coming up on New Year's. I have a special video on New Year's. Here's Healing from Depression again, 7 weeks to a better move. Actually, 12 weeks to a better move. Come on, Doug. It takes more than 7 weeks to get better, doesn't it? But yes, so how do you guys feel about 2017, huh? Some of my clients came in 2017, one of them named, I'll just call her Nancy, it's not her real name, but she came in a really bad state of depression. She'd gone through a divorce, then she found my support group in March, and now she's ending the year on a really, really positive note. That happened to me in 2016 when I went into the hospital in January, got electroconvulsive therapy, but I ended 2016 feeling so much better and went to see a couple of really inspiring plays. And so, yes, what a difference a year makes. What a difference 6 months make or a day makes. So how's it been for folks? Have you had a good 2017? Actually, a week from today is New Year's Eve day, December 31st. We can really talk about the past year then. And we can set about setting some goals for the new year. And I'm actually going to lead you guys in a burning bowl ceremony, and I'm actually going to demonstrate it online. About how to take what you want to let go of and write it on a piece of paper and hold it in front of a flame and let it burn up. Letting go. It's at the end of the year, it's really important to let go of stuff you're holding on to and to set the intention for the things you want to bring into your life. 2017 was a hard year for my depression, anxiety, and lack of sleep, Mark. So yeah, but you're getting better, right? We had our coaching. The year I died, 2017. Well, guess what? What goes down must come up. So if 2017 was a tough year, just wait. 2018 could be better. Danielle says, I feel like I'm in a much better place than I was this time last year. See? So Danielle, you're just like my client Nancy. What a difference a year makes. I'm very happy for you. You're a good person. And I love it that you care about your daughter so much. Worst year of my life. I hope the next year will be better, says Bashar Zako. Yeah, well, I can guarantee you, I've had, okay, so 82 was the pits, 83 I resurrected, right? 75 was the pits, 76 I resurrected, right? 96 I was in the pits, 97 I resurrected. I'm talking about the years. I know. Will anybody be watching this video in 2050? Who knows? But anyway, it doesn't matter what year we're talking about. I'm just telling you that what goes up, down must come up. I wish I had a picture of the Phoenix to show you. Oh, I do. Right here. Okay, you guys have had a hard time. Take a screenshot of this. Can you see this okay? I don't know. The book's in front of me, so I don't know. That's a phoenix bird rising from its ashes. That's what happens to we who go through a bad depressive episode. And I'm sure there are some people here who can testify. Right, Danielle? What goes down must come up. Sisyphus wins. 2017 was the worst year of my life, but I've grown so much, faced so much giants in my life, I'm much stronger today. Okay, so something good, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger, said Nietzsche. Yes, well, you have a good attitude. So in less than 3 years, it'll be Christmas here. 3 hours, excuse me, 3 years. What am I talking about? Well, that must mean it's around 9 p.m. your time, 1 p.m. my time, yep. I'm going to make 2018 a year for losing weight, getting healthier, and focusing on myself. Robert Teague, wonderful goals. We're going to talk more about, if you tune in a week from today, I'm going to have a whole ritual that I go through about setting goals for the new year and letting go of the past. And I'm going through it with my Tuesday group on January, I guess it'll be January 2nd, but you guys get a head start. Arcade Cup, I'm ready to start putting myself out there again. I turned that part off me for years. I need human contact. It's so important. Yes, Arcade Cup. It is so important. It's critical. I mean, I don't think people can really be happy without other people unless they're true hermits, but that's a small minority of people. We need others to receive and to give to. It's just go look at the film It's a Wonderful Life. Go look at the film A Christmas Carol. That they'll tell you. 2018 will be better. Michelle Munger, we haven't heard you. Hi, Doug. I'm new to your channel. Love everything I've watched. I'm 24 years old. Recently discovered that I've had social anxiety for the past 16 years. What's a good way to change this? Well, Michelle, social anxiety is treatable. I would go to a psychologist. We have one here in Portland who specializes in social anxiety. You can treat it with a combination of cognitive therapy, medication, and behavior change. We had a guy who came to my support group who had a bad case of social anxiety. The first couple of weeks or month, he didn't even talk. But there was only 8 people in the group, so finally he kind of got used to people and started to feel like they were, weren't going to hurt him, and he was feeling comfortable with them and safe. Then he opened up, and now he loves coming here. So social anxiety is treatable. I would definitely seek out a practitioner and a prescriber. You might want to take some. Well, I won't tell you what I think about prescribing. Let your prescriber tell you that. But yes, I need to make a video on that. Michelle, will you remind me? Here's my email address one more time. Michelle, send me an email and remind me about that. DouglasBloch, douglasbloch@gmail.com. Send me a video. So many people do have social anxiety. We don't really hear a lot from them in this channel, but I know they're out there, so it'd be a really good idea to do a video on that. Robert T says, Doug, I remember when I first seen your vid, I was crying and looking up suicide on YouTube with a pistol in my hand, was so close, you pulled me back, honestly. Wow. Well, that's a blessing. Thank you. Do you know that YouTube demonetizes my videos on suicide prevention? I can't make any money from them. Isn't that ironic? I'm helping to save people's lives and I get penalized monetarily. That's one of the reasons I started my Patreon channel. One more plug before we hang up. If you go to this website, you can see how you can make it possible for me to do more videos on suicide prevention that help people like Robert. Anyway, thank you so much for that comment. Yes, I want you, if you ever get back to that dark place again, I want you to watch that video. I want you to call me, email me, or call your local crisis hotline. You can see now that that things can get better, and if you have dark impulses, the important thing, it's okay to feel them, just don't act on them. So I'm glad you hung in there. There was a guy named Julie who had the same experience with one of my videos. I'm here to tell you that things do get better. Yeah, well, no one talks about it yet. Everybody is addicted. Well, yes, I think there are some people who are addicted. People are addicted to pornography, Eunice. If you feel you're addicted, there are addictions counselors you can go to. There is something called Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous out there, at least in the United States, where people who are addicted to sex and pornography. Wow. Robert, thank you so much. Boy, that's a great donation. Thank you. You should definitely check out my Patreon channel. I would love to have you as a sustaining member, like $4 a month, but wow, that is so generous. Well, I'm really glad. Thank you. That's all I can tell you. And thank you for hanging in there. I want to tell you, Robert, I want you to, you know what I want you to do? I'm going to send you, for that donation, I'm going to send you a free copy of my book, When Going Through Hell Don't Stop. I want you to email me and tell me 5 things you're grateful for. That would be really, really cool if you could do that. 5 things you're grateful for. Because I know you pulled yourself out of this suicidal depression. There must be something you're grateful for. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better. What can I tell you? I mean, I am so glad you're feeling better. Doesn't it feel good to have your life back again? Oh my God, I just remember when I went to the hospital, how desperate I was. It's a horrible feeling. Okay, Mike Levitt, I've been seeing a counselor for 2 months and nothing, he says, really changes anything. Quite frankly, seems like common sense. Do you think an actual psychologist would be better? Well, finding a good counselor is like finding a good marriage partner or a relationship partner. It has to be the right fit. I think a social worker could be good. A psychologist, it doesn't really matter the degree they have. It matters their experience. So, tell your counselor that it's not really helping and see if you can do something different. If not, find somebody else. I had a lot of bad counselors before I found someone really good or who fit me. At the DBT program in Providence Hospital, oh my God, there's a woman named Susan. I worked with her for 1 year. The saddest day of my life is when I left the program and I couldn't see her anymore. Holy crap, Robert, awesome. Yeah, well, Robert is, what can I tell you? Merry Christmas, everyone. Yes, Arcade Cup. Why would they do that? You could literally save lives without these videos. Well, because they say it's not advertiser friendly. Those are the words they use, advertiser friendly. I don't know why. If I told someone how to cure cancer and it worked, I think a lot of people would enjoy that, or some other chronic illness besides depression. But yeah, advertiser friendly, not advertiser friendly. They put this in the same class as hatred or pornography. No, this is life saving. So thank you. I've been dealing with that for 5 years, my friends. That's why I started the Patreon, so I could raise money to make up for the lost advertising revenue of those videos. I think my suicide prevention videos are basically constitute about 1/3 of all the views I get, because there are so many people out there who need help. When you're desperate, you need some hope. I'm glad you take the time to share this. As Michelle Unisad says, I thought it was 5XD 50. I'm not quite sure what 5XD means, or 550 underline O, so you'll have to explain to me what that is. Might be bots deciding on demonizing or repeal contact with YouTube. Should clear it up. Yep. I don't know what those means, but anyway, thanks. Good. Thanks, Doug. I am being demonetizing. Well, YouTube says they're going to demonetize some people, and I appeal some videos, and I appeal, and they make them. They're fine. Wow, look at that timer. What was that about? Well, it's almost 1 o'clock. Maybe it's telling me to go have lunch. How do I keep faith that someday I'll emerge from the hell? Kevin, you can take it from me that I've emerged from 4 hells. That's how you can keep the faith. Or go on YouTube and look at other people's testimonies. Go look at Big Noah Thomas. Look at his testimonial. Read Darkness Visible. Read memoirs of people who've been to hell and back. I can tell you for real. You go send me your email address. I'll send you my book, When Going Through Hell Don't Stop, for free. You will emerge from this hell. That's what everybody told me. I didn't believe them, and I did. So you just have to trust me and trust all the other people who have come out of hell. Haven't you come out of bad times before, Kevin? Maybe they weren't as bad as this, but things did change. They like to keep people sick. I'm not quite sure you're referring to, but did that answer your question, Kevin? You really, why don't you talk to Robert Teague? He was in a desperate place, and he got out of it. There are many people who did. They did the Katie Morton too, and even has. She even has Pepperdine student loans, grad school, unreal. Daniel Pat, Debbie, I used to use Talkspace. I'm not quite sure what that is. And selling, Merry Christmas and the best of New Year's. Thank you. I was having a hard time since getting out of the hospital. Well, I keep calling and leaving messages. He won't get back to me. Noah and I are buddies. He helped me and I helped him. It's been a mutually supportive relationship. It's ridiculous too, but there could be so much advertising done over the videos. It makes no sense at all. Well, Noah has not been on my live chats. He has his own. But Eunice, thank you but guess what? It doesn't matter. I don't care if I would like to make money off of the videos, but what's important is that it gets out to help people. You notice that YouTube does not take them off my channel. They just demonetize them. But ultimately, I'm going to be dead in 25 years, right? Hopefully these YouTube videos will still go out there helping people. It won't even matter at that point that they're demonetized, right? Do you think I got into this work to become rich? No. If I did that, I would have become an accountant like everybody told me to do when I was 8th grade, because I was a math genius, right? I have a lot of friends who are accountants. I could be an accountant in my sleep. But that's not what God called me to do, I had to go through all this pain so I could share my life with you, so I could really help people. Being an accountant and making a lot of money, I would not have been what Joel Osteen calls my destiny. So I chose this path. The path of an artist and a writer is much more difficult than the life of an accountant, at least in terms of the material plane. But boy, when I'm on my deathbed and looking back, and as I saw my friend die just yesterday, I will be very satisfied that I chose this path. Even though it was more difficult, or as Scott Peck said, the road less traveled. So, thank you. $250 an hour. Oh yeah, right. Well, that's what psychologists cost. You probably won't be dead in 25 years. Well, I'll be 90. Thank you, Danielle. I'll be 93 years old. That's when my father died, so maybe I'll beat my father. You never know. Yeah, these videos are your legacy. Well, that depends. We don't even know if YouTube will be around in 25 years. We don't know anything, do we, right? A meteor could hit the planet, for heaven's sakes, or we could start a nuclear war with Korea, God forbid. So, but, I've learned you just take it a day at a time and, let God decide, what's going to happen with any of our works. But anyway, I'm so happy that I'm here with you 14 people on the day before Christmas. I'm housebound because of this ice storm, so at least I got to connect with people over the internet. What a blessing the internet is. I mean, God, the internet wasn't even around during my 20s, 30s, 40s, even well, it kind of came around my 50s. So, UFOS says Arcade Cup. I'm not quite sure what that means. Kevin, I look to diet and fitness to keep myself distracted, but even then, sometimes I get very depressed, but still try to think about trying to get better physically. Well, Robert Teague, in my book, Healing from Depression, 7 Weeks to a Better Mood, 12 Weeks to a Better Mood, the foundation of all healing from depression is physical self-care. You need to get enough sleep, you need to eat right, and you need to get enough exercise. If your body's not working right, your mind can't feel healthy. That's why when people get ill and sick, their mood goes down. It's common sense. It's not rocket science. So yes, Robert, continue to take care of your body, love your body, get enough sleep, get enough rest, get enough exercise, eat really healthy live foods. Don't eat that crap in the middle of the store. Go to the perimeter store and get the fruits and the vegetables and the grains and the nuts and the seeds, and and treat yourself to love yourself. Show yourself you love yourself by taking care of your physical body. Depression is not a problem. It's a challenge to become better. Well, JKK, that's a good way to reframe it. Thank you. I work with the elderly, lots of people in their 90s. Well, there you have it, Danielle. Maybe I'll hire you to work with me. Just fly up to Portland. You can be my assistant. But that's a great what you do, Danielle. It's important to have compassion on people working with the elderly. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Your videos, live streams, you're amazing, and you have helped me a lot. Thank you so much. A 93-year-old man I helped actually went to a Christmas mingle to find a date. Well, there you are, Danielle. Thank you for inspiring me. Maybe 93 is not the end of the line. Anyway, it's a quarter century to go, so, what me worry. So we're going to take a couple more questions. It's actually 2 minutes after the hour. Do people really emerge from depression, or do they just pretend to be better? No, Kevin, I guarantee you. Kevin, we need to have a discussion, really, seriously. DouglasBlock@gmail.com. I'll give you my book. I have been running depression support groups for 17 years this January, and I promise you, I have seen people come out of the hospital. I've seen people emerge from suicide attempts. I've seen people emerge from sitting in their apartment for 3 months not getting off the couch, and they've all gotten better. People do emerge from depression. Haven't you done that in the past, even with a minor depression? You probably are just really down right now and feeling really hopeless, and I understand, and it really is hard to even have people like me encourage you, but I have to tell you once, I can tell you 1,000 times, people do emerge from depression, and so can you. Planet Fitness is $10 a month, pretty cheap. Wow, that's pretty good, Robert Teague. Anyway, any last questions I can answer? I hope you have a great Christmas Eve. Some of you back in the UK, it already is Christmas Eve. It's 9 o'clock there. I hope you have a great Christmas Day, which is tomorrow. And look for my video, Christmas Gift That Changed My Life. It'll be up there at 2 o'clock UK time, 10 o'clock East Coast time, and Houston time it'll be 9 a.m. And I'm 21. I just haven't experienced anything. Oh my God! Of course, now I understand, Kevin. You're only 21. My God, no. This is even knocked on your butt at 21. Well, it happened to me when I was 26 the first time. So you're actually 5 years ahead of me. But no, of course you think you're not going to get better. This is probably something like out of the hell realm from you. But you will come through this, especially because you're 21. You're strong and you're resilient. Let me tell you one more story. This 29-year-old guy who I've mentored, he's like a godsend to me. I told this in one of my videos called "You're More Resilient Than You Think." Kevin, send me your email address and I will send you my video called You're More Resilient Than You Think. Anyway, this guy was under a lot of stress. He relapsed. He overdosed on some medications and he went into a coma. And they did a brain scan, a general brain scan. They said massive areas where there was no sign of activity in the brain. In other words, the doctors assumed he was a vegetable. They wanted to pull out the respirator and let him die a natural death. I said no. That wasn't my decision, but I voted no. Fortunately, his mother voted no, so they let him stay on the respirator. And 3 days later, just like, says on Easter, he opened his eyes, said hello, and now he's walking around. He didn't have major brain damage. He came back. So what am I telling you? Why did I bring this up? Because miracles happen, People do come out of really bad situations. The life force, the survival instinct is very powerful. So, oh yeah, so I brought that up, Kevin, because I said to the nurse, why do you have hope for Doug? And she said, because he's young. He may be 29, he may be brain dead, but he's young. He's got a good survival force. You're only 21, you're younger. So I'm telling you, one day you're going to write me and tell me how good you feel after this depression. I guarantee you, Kevin, you're going to write me one day or call me up or email me and say, wow, you were right. I did get better. I promise you. I absolutely guarantee it. So, one more time, douglasblock@gmail.com. Send me your, email me, Kevin, and I'll send you some links to some videos and a book. Robert T., you got to know where you live, but thank you for your $50 donation. If you're feeling generous, which you are, obviously, I would love it if you could become a patron. And, you could give $5 a month, and that's $60 a year. But that would be really helpful. But anyway, I'm so grateful for your contribution. It's a great story, Eunice. Yep. So anyway, get him up for dead, in a coma, massive brain damage, and he comes out of it. And a man in my men's group at the age of 29, snowboarding accident, buried in snow, not breathing for 15 minutes, CPR, comes out of it, goes into a coma for 9 days. Same thing, massive damage. 6 years later, he has his own landscape company. So I've seen 2 people come back from the dead physically, and a lot of people come back from the dead emotionally and spiritually, like myself and all the other depressed people I work with in my group. So I'm telling you, resurrection is real. You will get better. I promise you. There is no question. I can say this as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. That's one thing I know. I don't know a whole lot, but I know that people come out of depression. Can anybody, before we hang up, encourage Kevin, please? Can anybody say, like Robert, that this too shall pass? Come on, Mark Calloway, Arcade Cup, some of my regulars, just say something to Kevin. Say, I've been to hell and I've come out of hell. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read the epilogue from my book. That's a good way to close. This is for Kevin. If you're on the edge of the abyss, don't jump. If you're going through hell, don't stop. As long as you are breathing, there is hope. As long as day follows night, there is hope. Nothing stays the same forever. Set the intention to heal, reach out for support, and you will find help. Don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. That's from AA. Okay, Kevin, you hear that? Reach out for support, set the intention to heal, you will find help, and don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. Yes, well, don't stop 15 minutes before the miracle happens. Well, Arcade Cup says 15, I say 5. The miracle's down the road, Kevin. How's that? Well, Kevin, never quit. You are never out of the fight. Keep fighting, man. Yep. So did that help, Kevin? You got 2 encouragements from Arcade Cup. I'm going over the hour. I don't care. I just want to make sure that when I leave, Kevin has got some encouragement for people besides me, that he doesn't just have to take my word that he's going to get better. He can hear Arcade Cup and Sisyphus Wins, and when I sign off in a couple of minutes, I want you to know that this live chat screen will be on for another 10 minutes, so you guys can keep encouraging Kevin, or donating maybe, but Kevin, just try, okay, just do it. I had a pistol almost in my head, just trying to find the power to pull the trigger fast, and I pulled back. It will get better, just take it 5 minutes at a time. Now look at that. There's a guy who came back from the brink of death. Kevin, this is a very dramatic story. You should write something or do a video on it. It's very dramatic. Because you can give people hope, Robert. I've never been quite as desperate as you have. I took a small overdose of pills once, but it really wasn't enough to do me in. But I never was that close to the brink as you were. And wow, I mean, that's a powerful story. And if you can say that there's hope, then anybody can get hope. This struggle will be your testimony. You will help others because of this. So take it. That's right, Sisyphus wins. You're a very wise person. By the way, what part of the country do you live? Thanks, guys. Well, does that help, Kevin? Can I now sign off knowing that you've gotten some encouragement? And as I said, keep talking to these people on the live chat after I get off. So my schedule: Monday the 25th, new video. Wednesday the 27th at noon, a live chat, noon Pacific time. And then Sunday the 31st, a week from today, another live chat. And then Monday, January 1st, a special New Year's video to help and set the intention for the new year and to let go of the old. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I hope I'm completely over my cold, and I wish you guys a wonderful Christmas Eve in the next couple of hours, and a wonderful Christmas tomorrow. And guess what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to watch the film It's a Wonderful Life. How's that? I'm going to practice what I preach. Okay, you will hang in there. And Kevin, if you have any doubt, there must be in Ireland or England, there must be like a crisis line. Call them. And here in America, we have 1-800-273-TALK, but you've got to have something similar in UK that you can call someone 24 hours a day if you're losing hope. So anyway, I hope I can get your email address. Kevin, I got some good videos to send you on recovering from hell and resurrecting. So, or just Google, and go to YouTube and say people who have recovered from depression or depression recovery, or anything like that. Okay, so we will next talk to you live on Wednesday at noon. That will be the 27th, and watch my video on Christmas Day tomorrow. A Christmas gift that changed my life. As Tiny Tim would say at the end of A Christmas Carol, God bless you, everyone.